Hi, my name is Addison Tucker, and I am here to talk to you about my internship at Arizona Family Institute. So, how did I find my internship? I was looking anywhere I could to get an internship, and I ended up finally on the school's website trying to find an internship, and I found one in Arizona, and I had family there, so I figured, sure, why not? Let's give it a try. This is my supervisor. His name is Dan Oakes, and I guess I was just the person who bothered him the most, or I was the first one, or whatever reason it was. He liked what he saw, and that's how it happened. So, he is a licensed professional counselor, and he is an amazing man. He is a member of the LDS Church and has been a bishop and many other callings. He currently is serving as the Stake Young Men's president, and he does a lot of good to help people in the Gilbert, Arizona area. Let me tell you. Anyway, so these are some of my responsibilities as an intern there. I worked a lot on curriculum development, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later. I was kind of a go-to for any kind of printing needs that they had. I did a lot of orders for them. I did a lot of research, a lot of reading. Dan gave me several books to read, and I learned a lot that way. I also was in charge of just odds and ends, different kinds of miscellaneous jobs like getting the mail or helping out with a different class or picking up lunch for a collaboration meeting. I mean, I did anything they asked me to. I also was able to teach a mindfulness class for a group that was 5 weeks long, and that was amazing. So that was a great responsibility that I had. So how I benefited Arizona Family Institute. Like I said, I was kind of their go-to, their runner. I just did whatever they asked me to. They had an open house while I was there, and I helped to set it up and I helped to get everything ready. I created a brochure which included all of the therapists who work under the name of Arizona Family Institute, and that was quite a feat. There are about 20 therapists that are associated with the name or in the network, and I collected all their information. Let's see here. I also helped to teach the mindfulness course, and that helped to strengthen the ties between the institute and the community itself to get their name out there, to provide help for people who actually really need it. So that was a great opportunity for the institute and for myself. And then I also created the curriculum handouts. I'm going to show you a couple examples of those. So all the therapists at Arizona Family Institute really believe in attachment theory. And they deal a lot with addiction and family issues. And so they believe that addiction stems from a problem with attachment within the family or within a relationship. And this was something that I learned quickly and learned more and more about as I read books and articles about attachment theory and addiction as an attachment disorder. So this is one of the handouts that I created that Dan actually uses to hand out to his patients and his clients as he's talking to them about the issues that they have with their families. So that was kind of cool. That was just one of them that I did. I did several. They also help people with recovery and helping them through addiction. And so this was kind of a diagram that I set up that helps them to understand where their addiction comes from. And again, just another diagram that I created. I made several of these, and this is kind of explaining the whole entire process that normal people go if you follow along the top up here when there's no addiction and when there is a good, healthy attachment. Or when things go badly and they fall into problems with addiction. Okay, so I also talked about helping with the open house, and this was a sign that I created just so people would know where to go, where to park. So that was fun, and we printed them out on big display boards so they can use them anytime they have an open house. It wasn't just a one-time thing. And then here's the cover of the brochure that I created with everyone in it. So this is just a page from it. And these are three of the therapists that are there. There's several. But this way we collected biographies, we collected pictures, their contact information, their hours that they work, how much they charge. It's all in there. And so that was quite a feat to get that together. But it worked out and they really liked it. We printed out hundreds of them and they have them ready on hand whenever they need it. Okay, so teaching that mindfulness course, I got to create what the course was. Actually, I followed everything from a book called Mindfulness, an 8-Week Plan for Finding Peace in a Frantic World by Mark Williams and Danny Penman, and based my class off of their 8-week course, but I condensed it to 5 weeks to make it more accommodating for people. And so I created this advertisement, which was sent out to Dan's client list, and it was very successful. We had plenty of people come. This was just more information. We made it very clear that I was not that I am a trainer, but I was not a therapist, so that they weren't expecting actual therapy. It was just an educational course that I led, essentially. And then this was the outline that I created from the book itself, and it's about 30 pages long. It goes through all of the different meditations, all of the different ideas. So that took quite some time to put together, but now they have it for whoever teaches the next class. All right, so how all of this benefited me? Well, I definitely developed professionally. I got to work with professional therapists. Obviously, there were 20 of them there, and I was there to interact at different meetings. They get together once a month and talk about cases, and I was able to sit in and listen and to offer whatever I thought, which was interesting. I also got to overhear several communications between the therapists and some of the issues that they had to work out with maintaining the building or trying to figure out who to refer people to. So that was good for me to understand how the real professional world works. My learning increased. I read several books, the mindfulness book for one. I also read Sue Johnson's Hold Me Tight. I tied into a lot of John Gottman's book from 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work. I worked with Brene Brown's Connections, which is a 12-step shame program. And I also worked with a book that was called Addiction as a Attachment Disorder, which was fascinating. So all of that just helped to make my learning and understanding much deeper. A lot of the things I had already learned in my classes, but this really enhanced that learning. I also found throughout the semester that my self-motivation increased because I was the one who had to get after my projects and create everything. I had to do it all myself. I was the first intern that Dan had ever had, and so it was a lot of trailblazing, which was really actually quite worthwhile and very fun for me. I really enjoyed it. I also gained a lot of confidence with the different tasks that I did, with creating each and every handout that I did. And in teaching the mindfulness group, I wasn't sure if I was entirely qualified, but I found that I was definitely prepared and that it went very well. And that really just helped me to be confident and to know that I could do just about anything. So my connection to my coursework at BYU Idaho, it was hard to pick one because I found so many throughout the 13 weeks of my internship. But basically, I focused on the connection I had to my practicum class because that's where I created lesson plans and I did a lot of research. I had to figure a lot of things out, and then I got to teach people. And that is really a lot of what I did with my internship. And I also created a lot of very professional, very classic, very good looking work. Creating all those diagrams, those handouts, the outline, creating the class and all the worksheets and the lesson plans for that. The practicum class definitely prepared me for that. And I was glad that I did well in my practicum class so that I was prepared. So all in all, I would definitely recommend this internship to others, but you would have to be very self-driven and very flexible and be able to handle things on your own and be able to be a go-getter, because that's what I had to do, and it was a great experience. I would definitely look up ArizonaFamilyInstitute.com. They have a great website that goes over what they believe in. They have all of their therapists and different biographies for them. And so if you wanted to, you could get in contact with Dan himself or another therapist there if you wanted to work with someone else there. But all in all, it was definitely a great opportunity, and I'm very proud of the work that I have done.